What's good, YouTube? It's that time again for another All 22 film breakdown. This time, it's on a name y'all should be pretty familiar with. It's Travis Hunter. He's one of my favorite players to watch from his time in high school to college and eventually now. Really excited, really phenomenal football player. I mean, his talent is just through the roof. So, without further ado, let's get into this film breakdown. What really stands out when watching Travis Hunter's film is his instincts, IQ, play recognition, and athleticism. So here, as I play the clip, Travis Hunter's going to be reading the quarterback eyes, get some depth, go to the flat, and make an insane interception. I mean, we see him do this routinely. Here, again, we have the same thing. The wide receiver that Travis Hunter, is guarding is going to be on a go route. This wide receiver in the slot is going to be on an out route. Typical play that you see happen a lot in college and especially the NFL. Travis Hunter's ability to read the quarterback's eyes and just play recognition. This might even be some film study too. Watch how quick he just reacts off of this. Press release. That's going to get the quarterback to think Travis Hunter is going to be traveling with the number one option. He reacts, gets an insane. You see the display of his hands right there, right? He's on his knees having to catch that pass. Just remarkable. If I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm strongly considering not going Travis Hunter's way, especially when they're in zone or you're having to make reads that where he's the key read. And what I love about this is watch that back pedal, smooth back pedal. He's going to react to the out route, still has his eyes on the quarterback. And we also see this paired a lot too. Some on one side of the field, depending on whichever it is that the offensive coordinator wants to call, you'll see an out route paired with a corner route, which is exactly what happens right here. Again, play recognition, reacts to it, makes another terrific interception. And now at this point it's just repetitive. And I like his knowledge right here. So TCU to the top of the screen is going to be running double slants. Well, Colorado's going to be in zone. So you'll see this linebacker right here that's at the goal line where the mouse is. He's going to be taking he'll be taking anything that goes inside. As for his partner right here, lined up in the slot with this wide receiver, Travis is just going to read the quarterback's eyes. He knows he has help inside, so he can't react off of that slant too hardly. Still keeps his eyes on the quarterback, makes another insane interception. I mean, this is just stuff he's going to do repetitively. So right here, Travis is to the top of the screen, highlighted in red. But I want you to see how much ground he has to cover. So that shows his ability to make a play on the ball, even if he's got a wide distance from the receiver. So watch him right there to the top of the screen. He has eyes on the quarterback. It's a slant route. He reacts well to that. And then the quarterback's already throwing this ball. And again, look at the distance between Travis and this wide receiver right here who's going to be getting this pass. Makes quick release on it or quick instincts. No wasted movement. Footwork is very good right there. And then when you need him to make a play as a tackler, he more than does that. So they're going to be running it's like a swing screen. I mean, it's called different. It can be called screen, bubble screen, swing screen. It's whatever you want to call it. But Travis is just going to fight inside, make a tough physical tackle, textbook technique. One of the areas that Travis greatly improved in was his man coverage technique, especially from last year to this year. And listen, later on in the video, I'll talk about something in his man technique that I think he can iron out at the next level. And that's basically just sometimes he lets the wide receiver close the distance between him and the wide receiver. That's something you don't want to do as a corner, and he'll obviously have to iron out. As mentioned, another time is sometimes it feels like he's flat-footed and kind of relying on his athleticism a little bit too much, even though it is that great. And another thing I notice is when I watch his footwork sometimes, especially in man coverage, often he'll move either one of his foot forward. So as I play it, I'll play it out. So he's to the top of the screen. He's in an even stance, right? And you'll see he'll move that right foot or his right foot forward, right? You see it move forward. Again, and then just one last time. Usually, as a corner, you want the first movement you have when the ball is snapped, you want it to be backwards instead of forward. Because if you go forward, then the wide receiver has that ability to close the space and get on and stack on top, which is their goal, but we don't want it to be their goal. But nonetheless, he's got good technique there out of the back pedal, pushes the wide receiver to the boundary, and it's going to be an in-breaking route. It's such a good physicality right there at the top of the route that it's going to be, instead of it being a 10-yard dig route, it's going to become a 20-yard. Still has the athleticism to make a play on it and to keep track of the receiver for it and stay in phase for that long. That's really remarkable. And then right here, so you see, I talked about the footwork, right? Sometimes he'll move either one of his foot forward, as we've seen with that last clip. Here, he's got a really good technique, and this is a really good rep because he'll just move that foot forward immediately and just sit on this route, be patient in it, and it's solid. Good technique there. Gets a hand on the receiver to decrease their momentum, and is able to make a play on that ball. The end result of this play is blanketed coverage that Travis has on an out route, but I think it also showcases some areas that at the next level, covering wide receiver ones, and wide receiver twos, it can possibly present a problem for him. And that's sometimes he stands a little too upright, and like I said, he relies on that athleticism, having his footwork flat-footed and letting the receiver close space. So here we see it as I'm eventually going to play this video. You see he's kind of upright, right, out of the back pedal, and sometimes I think his transition from back pedal to having to run with the receiver and get upfield can be a little late at times, but I'm still good coverage right there on that out route, having inside leverage. Here we're seeing a much better rep of him not letting the wide receiver close space and instead just getting a little bit more depth. That way he has enough time to react on whatever break the receiver is making, whether that's inside, outside. So here, as you'll see, he just retains his outside leverage, and then when the receiver does make a break, let's make no waste of movement, just plant a foot in the ground and go as he does. Really textbook rep right there. This right here is teaching tape. This is absolutely perfect. So Travis, watch him right here with his left foot. He's going to reposition himself to inside leverage, and then the back pedal and transition out of it to run with the receiver is absolutely textbook. So watch right here. That left foot, perfect back pedal, transitions out of it, stay with the wide receiver. That's textbook right there. Right here, he's just checking another box on the NFL scouts list of wants and needs in a corner. It's going to be a simple crossing route, but it's not going to be so simple because he's going to have to evade some traffic, and he just does a magnificent job at it. Instead of fighting underneath, he just fights over the top from this tight end right here, number 87, trying to set the rub route. Oh, excuse me. Actually, he fights underneath, has that athleticism, make an open field tackle, and he does just that. Again, just checking all of the boxes that you need. And so here's an instance of when that false step in man coverage can sometimes hurt him. And so here he is going up against the wide receiver here, number 13 from Stanford. And watch his right foot right here. You're going to see it kind of jump forward, and that allows the receiver to lessen the distance and be able to get over the top. Right there, you see he lunges forward with that right foot, allows the receiver to close the space and get over the top. The end result is an incompletion, but I think that's just something he can work on and iron out. And as I've mentioned in the video, this is from last year. His development in press man from last year to this year is way better. This right here is a clutch play, as you see below. It's in overtime. Baylor looks like they're getting ready to score. First and goal, 31-38. This is Travis Hunter right here. If you can see with the mouse, that's him right there where the bottom of the E is in Buffaloes. Gotta have it. Have to make a play. Travis Hunter makes a key tackle, Before he gets into the goal line, he makes him the running back fumble as well. Clutch play to seal the deal. Travis Hunter is just a playmaker, whether that's on offense or defense, he does it all. Now moving on to the offensive side of the ball. Here is Travis Hunter to the top of the screen at the bottom of the 40. And he's going to be on a hitch route. Defender is inside leverage, so he's going to work outside. Good snap down right there. No, hardly any wasted movement. Takes him about 1 to 2 steps to get out of that break. And what you typically want for receivers is no more than 3. So he does that, creates separation, and I think where he's the best is after the catch. Just the athleticism, the agility he has to separate angles with him after the catch. And like I said, he's a playmaker. So just put the ball in his hands and he's going to make a play. This is a very polished and technical route by Travis Hunter. He's at the top of the screen. Defender is inside leverage. What we want to do as a receiver is tack where their leverage is at so that way we can get them to bite, overreact, and jump. That's exactly what he does. And I love the release right here. Slow, steady release that gets the defender to feel uneasy. Gives a hard jab to the inside to get the defender to react, knowing that's their leverage. And it's zone. Actually, I guess I guess it can kind of be considered zone with one over the top, but it was in man, splits the safeties, makes a play, and like I said, he is just a playmaker. This right here is going to be a big time route from Travis Hunter. So he's at the top of the screen, and the defensive back is they're going to get into this like bail technique, and he's going to utilize the defensive back's blind spot, then cut back inside. I mean, it's just a textbook route. You see him cut back inside, and he gets into 6 for the score. So that's very good, nuanced route running there. This play right here demonstrates to me that Travis Hunter has Hall of Fame ball tracking and ball skills right here. So it's going to be a jump ball to Travis Hunter. I mean, it's just insane. He makes that tough, difficult catch. Like I said, insane catch. Here we have Travis Hunter to the top of the screen, running a hitch route. I like how he works the defensive back's leverage, and what I also like is he's a very relaxed route runner, meaning that his body language is very relaxed, calm, almost sometimes nonchalant. And now why that's key is because sometimes the defensive back will be trying to look for hints and clues to indicate what type of route it is. Hunter rarely does that. So here he is, top of the screen, works the defensive back's leverage, gets him to think it's a go route. Very violent snap down. In these type of situations at the goal line, a very polished release is critical and key. So here we have Hunter to the top of the screen right here. His release and then paired with how he works the defensive back's leverage is able to have him create yards of separation right here. So here he is to the top of the screen. Nice hesitation release, and he has yards of separation, and he gets the score. Similar situation, goal line again. Travis Hunter's to the top of the screen, and he loves to do hesitation releases, and then he'll attack the defensive back's leverage. But the thing he'll have to remember to keep key and also do when running routes is just to close the distance between him and the defensive back. And you'll see how he doesn't press vertical here as he tries to run this slant route. So as I play it, hesitation release, and then he tries to press vertical, but the defensive back doesn't bite on it. He keeps that inside leverage, and you can see the distance, right? Like, that's not a whole lot of distance, so the DB has time to react, and it kind of jams him up. The film breakdown portion of this video is officially over. Now it's time for the player analysis. Ever since I've been watching Travis Hunter in his high school days at Collins Hill, Georgia, that sophomore tape that I watched in that film was NFL worthy. You just saw the traits of him reading the quarterback's eyes in zone. He had this just tremendous talent and raw God-given ability and talent to play this game of football, even from the high school level. And then he just He worked at it, worked on his technique, worked on his fundamentals in college, and it's produced him to be what I believe the most talented player in this draft class and one of the most talented players in recent memory coming through the draft. Now, to answer the question of DB or not to be, sorry, got a little fixated on to be or not to be, but I think he's best utilized on both ends. And is it going to be like, is it going to be 50% offense, 50% defense? Like, what is that split going to be? But can he do both? I think he can do both because he's just a playmaker. And when you have a playmaker, you put them on the field and you let them make plays. Like, I think the team that drafts him, or if I were to draft him, I'm letting him impact the game based off of the game script. And so if you don't know what game script is, it's kind of like figuring out eventually what might happen in the game. Like, right, sometimes you read a book and you figure out, or you watch a movie and you figure out, oh, okay, the antagonist, the protagonist is going to win. You can get that sort of feel. I think if you needed to make a play on defense, you put Travis Hunter on defense because he's clearly shown it in that Baylor game. If you need him to make a play on offense, he's clearly shown it. I mean, look at the tough catches that he's made. The talent that he has on that offensive end too. I think where he's best utilized on offense is just let him work in the slot. Let him go up against linebackers, do hitch routes, do crossing routes, work that middle of the field. Have him do he's a very smart and IQ player, so have him do option routes and that sort of kind of thing. Maybe even use him in the backfield because he's so magnificent in yards after the catch. And when he has that football in his hands, he's going to make a play. I think that's the best kind of usage for him. Is if you need a play on offense and it's a clutch play, you need this play to win the game. Put him in at offense. If you need that same thing for the defense, put him in at defense. Let the game script dictate where you're gonna play him and where you need him. I think that's the best for him. He is a top 3 talent in this class. He should not fall past 3. The Titans, they may possibly take him, or they could go quarterback. The Giants, I think him and Malik Neighbors, I mean, if you those two at wide receiver, plus the Giants have also needed some help at corner, that could definitely be something. The Cleveland Browns, listen, there's 32 teams in the NFL could use a player like Travis Hunter. He's just sensational. Whoever drafts him is getting a really, 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 really talented, smart, intelligent football player.